Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. Another homicide, this time it's St. Thomas. Oops upside your head with a roach spray can. And BOGO's Entertainment Report. These stories and more are up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, there's been another murder in our territory. Hard to believe if this current rate continues, we'll break another murder record. Here's Kishma Harrigan on our latest murder. This time at Smith Bay is our location, St. Thomas.
Police on St. Thomas are investigating the homicide of 29-year-old Rachelle Jah of Estate Smith Bay. At approximately 11 o'clock a.m. Thursday, January 13th, police were dispatched to shots fired in Estate Smith Bay. Police responded within minutes and received information that the victim was being transported by private vehicle to the Roy Lester Snyder Regional Medical Center. Officers responded to the hospital and learned that Jah was shot multiple times. He later died of his injuries. St. Thomas St. John District Police Chief Rodney F. Carrad Sr. is once again asking for the community's assistance in solving this crime. Anyone with any information relative to this homicide is urged to contact Major Crimes at 642-8449, 715-5545, Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS or 911. Chief Carrad also wants to thank the community for their continued assistance leading to quick arrests for homicides and other serious crimes over the past year. We, police and citizens working together, can and will curtail crime in this territory, he said.
Thanks, Kishma Harrigan. And this just handed to us here at the news desk. Virgin Islands Police Commissioner Novell Francis Jr. issued this statement regarding the verdict, finding Enid Edwards and Francis Brooks guilty of various federal charges. The police commissioner stated, "The jury has spoken, and there's no greater disservice to the public than officers who have tarnished the badge. This verdict stands as a lesson to all those who seek to use the power they have been entrusted and use it to their own will. I thank the jurors for their tough but decisive conviction in this arduous case. Thanks also to the prosecutor and law enforcement for a job well done. Now it's time for the community to heal in the wake of this trial. This department will continue to strive towards excellence within its ranks and further building communities' trust." Commissioner Francis then proceeded to dismiss Edwards and Brooks from the police department, and that will begin immediately. Well, the Elena Christian shootout situation is finally making sense. Here's Wes Small at the scene in La Grande Princess, but you'll see that his crew had to relocate to a safer area.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. Again, back at the house here by Elena Christian. It was a very bizarre week. I want to take you back to Monday around 1:30 in the afternoon. While we moved from that location, it got a little hostile down there. We had a car pass and say, "Hey, you're making the brother look bad." That's right. This journalist makes the entire Virgin Island territory look bad. I dream up these stories. Let's go back then. It was the 17-year-old's house. He was sitting on his porch. 29-year-old Andre Brown, like I said, haven't had much luck with the VIPD since Melody's on vacation for securing pictures, but he did pull up in his white van. 17-year-old said, "I want to quit the weed business." The 29-year-old Andre Brown pulled a 9mm, fired on the 17-year-old. The 17-year-old went into his home or into that house, got a sawed-off shotgun, reportedly fired shots to the white van. Subsequently, that white van was found about a quarter or a half a mile past Elena Christian towards the east, right? So then the next day, News Channel 8 caught that 17-year-old as they was coming out of the police car. We now understand that he has not been charged with anything. Not reckless endangerment, not possession of a deadly weapon, and not the other charge as well. So, charged then is 29-year-old Andre Brown, and he has been now charged. And also his past is in 2000, Brown was charged with third-degree assault. In 2009, charged with first-degree robbery. That case was dismissed later. Again, reckless endangerment for Brown, drug charges, and also certain feet within the school. That's what he can be looked at. Right now, that 17-year-old has not been charged. Almost a week later, but that's what happened when Melody Rames goes on vacation. All right, you already heard about the unfortunate situation in Smith Bay where we had a homicide, right? And we're still praying for Lee Carl, our St. Thomas correspondent, to get better. Good news, as he wiggled his toe on his right leg, possibly that leg could be saved. So we're all praying for you, Lee, as you take that flight to New York later today. Now I want to take you back to Ario Diaz housing community. We're looking at some file footage there. That's when we have 28-year-old Aracelis Ayala, 20-year-old Jamani Rollins. Remember that on Wednesday. First-degree burglary, unlawful entry, and aggravated assault and battery. Here's what happened. Jamali Rollins told police he was minding his own business when he was making fun of someone's pants on the ground. Minding his own business, making fun of someone's pants on the ground. That is when a woman from that third-floor apartment shouted down, "You better watch it, or I'll have my son shoot you." That's when Rollins got upset, not taking threats lightly. He went upstairs, kicked down the door of the woman, chased her, and cornered her into the kitchen. You with me, right? The woman grabs a can of roach spray, an empty can of roach spray. Then Rollins punched the woman in the face. Get ready for it. The woman went upside Rollins' head with the empty can of roach spray. That's when Miss Ayala comes in. Remember her? The other lady who was hooked up. While Rollins holds the lady, Ayala starts punching the lady. The lady's sister comes in. Also, I believe a fork was involved. That's why the newspaper said that assault with the burglary was with a can of roach spray and a fork. Folks, they say, Wes, you're the best. But no, I'm not the best. You're the best, because you're the ones that give me these stories. I don't make these up. Hit in the face, upside the head with an empty can of roach spray. And I was minding my own business by making fun of somebody's pants on the ground. Have a good weekend. Thank God it's Friday. I don't know about you, but this reporter's going to shut his phone off. That's just about all the information I need for this weekend. At Ann Schrader Command, I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes, and thanks for being safe out there. This statement just also came to our desk. Criminal Investigation Bureaus on St. Thomas arrested 38-year-old Avery Smith at around 3 p.m. on Wednesday, January the 12th, and charged him with 3 counts of first-degree unlawful sexual contact. Smith was also charged with vagrancy and resisting arrest. According to the initial police reports, Smith inappropriately touched 3 10-year-old girls on a school campus in November of 2009, March, and December of 2010. Smith is a New York native living in Estate Anna's Retreat, and his bail for his charges totaled to $48,000. He was remained to the Bureau of Corrections pending further court action. Well, gas prices are going up again. Here's News Channel 8's Wes Small to tell us why.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. I don't know if you've noticed, but gas prices have gone up. And yeah, it's bad weather. It's colder up in the States, and I guess that kind of dictates things. We're at $3.09 here for regular, $3.19 for unleaded, and I have a feeling that's could be about as good as you could get. Remember, a lot of these distributors empty their supply before they equalize the rack rate. So therefore, Hovenza this month has raised its wholesale gas prices across the board for the 4th month in a row, bringing wholesale rates to their highest level since October of 2008. In the wake of Hovenza wholesale price hike on January 7th, gas prices across our territory have shot up. The new wholesale rate increased by 20.5 cents per gallon for regular, 19 cents per gallon for premium, and 13.5 cents per gallon for diesel. Meanwhile, you know that the refinery's wholesale prices, called the infamous rack rate, are the cost of fuel purchased directly from Hovenza's truck loading station on St. Croix. Meanwhile, rising fuel prices have affected the entire country, like I said, these recent months, and the U.S. Energy Information Administration is anticipating that prices will continue through this year. I also want to remind you about your town hall meetings and to put pressure on your St. Croix and St. Croix senators, and also the St. Croix Environmental Association. Remember that the EPA And also, federals from the states are monitoring Hovenza's situation. I have to tell you that Hovenza, since those flare-ups, they have affected our area, especially in Strawberry, Barron Spot, Clifton Hill, Matthew Chow, State Harvey, and Prophet. Stay in touch with your attorneys, Lee Rohn or whoever it is, and do the right thing and fight this corporate giant. Because when it comes to our health, that is the primary concern. With that, have a good weekend. When you go to your points, try to multitask, carpool, help each other out. Pick people up on the road, okay? Do the right thing. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And when we come back from this break, your Caribbean Report is next.